This isn't Pokemon related, but if you've never seen an owl run, you have to, after you finish this video, go and Google it because it is hilarious. It made my day. I just watched a video of it and I had to bring that up. So I guess let's get into the actual video. Hey everybody, Nick from 9CardTCG, and today we're going to be talking about a Tornadus V deck from Pokemon Trainer who placed 13 at the late night series hosted by Zach Lesage just last night. So these are really recent results, and in the top 16 there were 10 different decks, and that's something I really like to see. Tornadus being one of them, Single Strike Urshifu not one of them. So interesting to note, and we'll talk about why, but for now let's go take a look at the deck list. So this is Pokemon Trainer's exact 60 cards. It's very, very similar to the 60 card list I used when I featured Tornadus and Umbreon a couple weeks ago. I did have Hiding Dark Energy in here, and I had like one less Tower, one less Urn, stuff like that. So there were some minor changes, but those few changes can make a big difference in how a deck performs. Now, before we talk about the actual deck, let's talk about why Tornadus over Urshifu might be a little more successful in this moment. And the real reason is Umbreon is weak to grass, and Tornadus here has a retreat cost of only 2, where Single Strike Urshifu VMAX has a retreat cost of 3. So, because of that extra energy in the retreat cost, Grass Knot from Leafeon is going to do more damage. Leafeon is Single Strike Urshifu's biggest counter, and Leafeon is very, very popular in the late night series that just happened last night, at least the time of this recording. Leafeon was the second most played deck. So if the most commonly played deck is Dragapult, which is your Urshifu is weak to, and the second most common played deck is Leafeon, which your Umbreon is weak to, depending on how you start or who goes first, you're going to be in for some tough matchup. Do keep in mind, Single Strike Urshifu can beat Dragapult pretty easily as long as you're starting Umbreon and you can get 2 Houndooms onto the field pretty quickly, because things like Phantom Waves and Hammers are really annoying for Single Strike considering you have fairly high attack costs. But anyway, let's focus on this Tornadus deck for a second. Tornadus VMAX, 320 health, colorless Pokemon, and it is a Single Strike. Now, it has a weakness to lightning, which can be annoying because Jolteon is pretty good and not as popular as Leafeon, so you don't have to worry there. And it has a resistance to fighting, which is really nice because in the Single Strike mirror and against things like Rapid Strike Urshifu, you will take 30 less damage, so that's really nice. We talked about the retreat cost of 2 compared to retreat cost of 3, and if we combine this with Air Balloon, you have a retreat cost of 0, so Grass Knot would technically do nothing, but if they have Gala Mine, it'll only hit you for 120, which is really nice. Blasting Wind, 2 colorless energies, 60 damage. It's fine, we're going to bump this up with Powerful Colorless Energy and Single Strike Energy. Max Wind Spirit does 120. If there's a Stadium in play, it does 120 more damage again, so you're hitting for that 240 plus additional damage from Powerful Colorful Energy or Powerful Colorless Energy and Single Strike Energy. Why is this also really important? Well, in that Leafeon matchup that Single Strike tends to struggle with, you are going to be actively discarding their stadiums, their Gala Mines, and in order for them to actually do any damage to you, they have to continuously play them. So now, when they play their Drizziles, they play their Inteleons, the Shady Dealings, they have to get their Gala Mines, which means they're going to use the Shady Dealings to get a Gala Mine when they maybe wouldn't have otherwise. Plus, we have our own stadiums to counter and bounce their stadiums, plus Max Wind Spirit. So it really helps to neutralize the Leafeon matchup. Of course, you can always whiff energies. 4 energy to do an attack is pretty hefty, but it's doable. Of course, we are running the Houndoom engine for energy acceleration, Single Strike Roar. You can take a Single Strike energy from your deck and attach it to one of your Single Strike Pokemon. Umbreon V and Umbreon VMAX just helps us with that gust support and also helps us in the matchups where our opponent's Pokemon are weak to dark, so Shadow Rider and Dragapult. But now we're not hindered by if we start with the Tornadus, because Urshifu being weak to Psychic is something that you really don't want to see in your opening hand when you're going against Dragapult or Shadow Rider. Now, Tornadus, kind of neutral, but obviously you want to favor the Umbreon in matchups where you can take some easier knockouts. This deck basically looks identical to every other Single Strike deck. The difference here is that we have Powerful colorless energy, which when attached to a colorless Pokemon like Tornadus, your attacks do 20 extra damage. So really nice way of getting some extra damage without having to rely on Houndoom and taking a little bit of chip damage every time you accelerate energy. Otherwise, the deck is really similar to every single strike deck. Like I mentioned, we do have our 4 single strike energies, we have our 4 capture energies, and the only thing that's really different between this and an Urshifu deck is you're probably going to run a higher Umbreon count in Urshifu, and you would swap to Tornadus with Urshifu, and then these powerful colorless energies would be basic fighting energies instead. But that's pretty much the deck. Let's see how it performs. I'm still pretty congested, as you can tell, so I apologize for that. But if this is the first time you're checking out the channel, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Leaving a like and a comment, I kind of did that out of order, but leaving a like and a comment really helped the channel. You can also hit the subscribe button and bell notification so you never miss another video. So here we're starting with Umbreon. Our opponent's going to take a mulligan, so we'll get an idea of what we're playing against. It's one of the things that rappers like Malamar, single prize decks are always a little bit of a challenge. Now we do hit them for weakness. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be doing a lot of damage anyway, just because our attacks they do more damage than single prize Pokemon. But yeah, single prize Pokemon decks are challenging because Rapid Strike Malamar can hit us for a lot of damage, take 2-3 prizes, and then no matter how much damage we do, we're only taking 1. So we got a Tornadus V. We'll go ahead and ditch probably the Evo Incense, I guess. We'll get a Houndour. We'll play the Stadium. We'll get rid of the VMAX. That's what I want to see. And I guess we might as well, right? Now they can't boss stall us. We'll go ahead and research. Can't hurt. It's looking pretty good. And we'll go ahead and just mean look. So now they can't retreat next turn. And it's going to give them a little bit of a harder time. They have to have a switch. Or I guess now since they evolved, it doesn't really matter. But they still need to have a switch card or a scoop up net in order to get this out of the active. They're going to go ahead and play their supporters. So you know we're going to get our 2 Houndooms out onto the field next turn, which is really nice. We can attach an energy and then accelerate to Tornadus, and we could start setting up a secondary attacker. Like I said, it doesn't really matter too much. I kind of want to keep this a 2 prize game. I don't want to evolve into my VMAXs because, again, if they take those knockouts, they're going to get an extra prize for nothing. What I may do, and I probably won't even do it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to look to do it. But what I'll do is we'll go ahead. We'll get our other Houndoom. I should really look through the deck. The first thing I always look for is our energies. We have all 4 single strike energies. We have powerful call energies. We have our capture energies. We have a scroll in there, which is good to know. Tool Scrappers in there. We have a switch. Both of our air balloons are in play. So we're actually looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I think we can ditch this Tornadus here. And we'll just start setting up, right? I actually don't think I really need to set up to another Pokemon. The reason why is because depending on what I want to do, I'll actually be able to hit into this Rapid Strike Malamar with my Houndooms instead of having to rely on my 2 prize Pokemon. So that's probably what I'm going to do. It just doesn't matter what attack I choose at this point. We got the other Houndoom. That's really nice. We got the Urns. In case they do go ahead and knock out this Umbreon this turn, we'll be able to recover those energies and set up a Houndoom. We can actually set up a Houndoom regardless, so it doesn't really matter. But what I will do is send up this Houndoom with the Air Balloon and then retreat it out after I establish an attacker, because I don't want to send up a Houndoom and then not be able to attack or do something. So we'll take it like that. We'll see what kind of supporter they play. If they play one, that's something that you really want to pay attention to. Corina's Focus is obviously a good supporter, but they're only going to get one. So interesting choice here. Not enough to take the KO. I'm surprised they went with the supporter, because they just guaranteed losing a Rapid Strike card and not guaranteed to get one back. So we're just going to go ahead and Moonlight Blade hit for quite a bit of damage. Again, not that it matters, it's just a single prize Pokemon. So we get an Umbreon VMAX. That's fine. We don't necessarily need to get the VMAX. If they set up another Malamar and they don't play a supporter or something like that, which I would find surprising considering they have artillery on the field, depending on what they set up, we may go ahead and play Umbreon just to boss up their one attacker. So they're probably going to search with Rapid Strike, search for a Corina's Focus, because they are going to draw maximum cards out of it. That's their supporter. So we will be able to, again, to collect our urns. And they have two Chinchinos on the field, so that you know they're going to be able to make do quite a few times if they need to. But my plan remains the same. Once this Umbreon is knocked out, earn the energies back in, set up a Houndoom, and now be ahead on the prize trade. So they get in there another Inkay for when this Malamar gets knocked out. I'll go ahead and play the water. That's fine. We'll counter next turn with our Stadium. Don't want to give them free retreat if I don't need to. Again, not really sure why they played it, because they don't have any other real Rapid Strike Pokemon on the bench that they're going to be attacking with. So they just lost a guaranteed Rapid Strike card from their hand to take a chance to get one. They don't need to hit many. They just need to hit 2. So it's really easy for them to do, but the next turn, you know, they didn't have to play it down. They had a guaranteed one for next turn. I actually can just send up this Houndoom, because I know for a fact we'll be able to set it up as an attacker. We got the 2 energies. We'll go ahead. We'll get rid of their tower. We'll drop an energy. We'll accelerate 1. And that's really all we need to do. And now we can just, I guess we can tower away this Tornadus. We're not going to use it. Boss is pretty good. So I like seeing the boss. And I don't want to single strike roar to another Pokemon, because if they try to boss stall or something like that, they send up this Houndoom, or rather this one, and I accelerate my energies to the one with the Air Balloon. Not really a good idea. So I don't need to accelerate to attack, so I'm not going to. They're going to Fog Crystal for a Psychic Energy, which is the smart thing to do. And here come Rapid Strike search for another Corina's Focus, most likely, so then they can make do any non-Rapid Strike cards that they draw. But again, that keeps our hand the same, which means you know we're going to be able to earn away or get those 2 single strike energies back into the deck using that earn, because they're playing their supporter already. So yeah, they might take the easy knockout, but I'm going to take the counter KO right back. Now, because this Tornadus is on the bench, they always have the option to boss's orders and take a knockout and win the game. So it is a little scary, but we have to kind of handle their Malamars. Unfortunately, they were able to set them up fairly quickly, where I can't go after their artillery, just because if I do, they knocked out that Umbreon with that 2 prizes. If they didn't, I would have been able to attack their artillery, so they would lose that search each turn. But yeah, they just need to find 3 Rapid Strike cards. They have it. take the KO. Again, I know for certain that I'm going to be able to attack this turn, so I can send up this Houndoom. We'll earn them back into the deck. They have 4 cards. I don't want to Marnie them. The reason I don't want to Marnie them is because they just shuffled some Rapid Strike cards back into their deck, and I don't want to give them more Rapid Strike cards that they could be drawing into with the Marnie. So I have one Houndour. Let's get rid of this Umbreon. I don't have any more Houndours, so I think we're just gonna fail it. Maybe I should have thinned a little bit. Try to draw an extra urn. So we'll just go ahead and take this KO. So we're slightly ahead on this prize race. We get another Houndour, that's very nice. I don't think we have another Houndoom though. There's 1 in the discard, 2 in play. So the 4th one might be benched. Of course they have it ready to go. How many Corner's Focus have they used already? They used all 4, so you know they can't search. So there's the research. And I'm curious to see, they're not really going to be able to make do many times because they only have 4 cards left in deck. They are trying to thin their hand a little bit, I guess. They would be... Okay. Now they have 3 cards left in deck. I definitely don't want to Marnie them. Maybe they have a Marnie in their hand. Look, I mean, there's 1 card left in their deck. They played their supporter. They just decked themselves out. So I don't know why they did. Oh, they're right. They can put them back in with Rapid Strike Tentacles. That is right. I was gonna say, like, why would they do that? So go ahead. We need to do 120 damage, so we need 60 damage in order to do that. Let's go ahead. We'll get the scroll here. We'll get rid of the scrapper. I wish I could not discard any, but you know what? We'll do it this way. And we'll go ahead and draw a few cards. I don't want to put another 2-prizer onto the field here. Oh, I messed up. I did not mean to attach to the Houndour. That was so stupid. I did not want to do that. Man. This is what happens when you play when you're sick. You make a silly mistake. I meant to attach to this Houndoom because I would have done 140, which would have been enough to knock it out. Since this would do 70 with the extra single strike energy, I would have had just 1 prize left. They would have had, unless they have the boss this turn, I would have ended up winning, but now I will not. So, because I made a misclick, I lost. Otherwise, I would have been ahead on prizes. This would have been my last prize to take this turn. So, curious. This will do 40, 60, 80. Not enough. It'll only do 80 damage, but he has 40 on him, so you know what? Maybe we go here. And let's Evo Incense. Now this will do 80, 100, which is definitely enough. So we can go ahead, evolve. That's Marnie. But I don't think I can get this out of the active. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do to get this out of the active, which means I do just lose. Simple, a little misclick, unfortunately. If I didn't play the Tool Scrapper to try to empty my hand, I would have had the Air Balloon. It's just a couple of little things, but, you know, it's what happens sometimes with these single prize decks. You fall behind on prizes, but silly little misclicks can cost you the game. That's why I don't really like PTCGO. You would never make that mistake in person, but it happens. Going on to the second game, and I said it before, but I normally say it here, so I might as well say it again. If you want to help the channel grow, hitting the like and leaving a comment are the best ways to help the channel grow. They tell YouTube this is a good video, and other people should watch it. Hopefully we don't play another single prize deck, but with my luck we'll end up playing a Jolteon deck, and that's pretty much how my day is going to go. So we won the coin flip, which is nice. We want to go first. We actually didn't go first that other game, which I do think hurt us a little bit, but it's fine. New game, new problems. So we get to start Tornadus here, which is good. We have a quick ball, so we can go ahead and get a Houndoom or a Houndour set up. We have a tower. We can probably tower away the Urn, since we're not discarding energies as much as with this version compared to the Urshifu version. We don't need all of our Urns. So we'll go ahead and quick ball for a Houndour. We'll tower. The reason you can make an argument for one of two ways of doing things. You could have went and said, okay, we're going to get the tower first, try to draw an extra Houndour, or you can play the Houndour and then tower and say, okay, I want to try to get an energy. Playing Leafeon, Galamine, and Galarian Moltres. Interesting. Yeah, wow, okay. I've yet to see a Leafeon with Galarian Moltres, so this will be interesting. Unfortunately, we whiffed our turn 1 energy attachment, so not something you really want to see. I would imagine the Moltres is pretty much either. I don't think they're going to be running dark energies. It might, I mean, they have to, right? They have to run dark energies, otherwise there's no point to this. So this isn't bad. We got the Houndoom, we got the Scroll, so if they, I don't think they're going to be able to attack because they can't put 2 energies, so they're going to play 1 onto the Leafeon and then greening cells. So we can drop the Scroll, I guess. The greening cell onto the other. It's very interesting. Will Crobat try to get rid of that Galamine? So you know we're going to be able to do some good damage. We have just 2 Houndooms, which I do not like, but all 4 single strike energies. So that's okay. And let's go ahead. We are going to get another Houndour. I know we don't have the Houndoom, but our opponent doesn't know that. And I don't necessarily want to draw any energies right now. So So we're going to go ahead and research. That's why we did the thing first. Right? Because we don't want to draw as many energies. And now we can just go ahead and hit for 100 damage. So either way, we have a Tornadus V for next turn. We can attach double accelerate to the V Evolution Incense and be okay. You know they have to get that Galar Mine. They have to. And they're only going to do... how much damage are they going to do? What is it? 60? Oh, they're going to go with the Marnie. Is it 60 times 4? So they'll do 240, which will not be enough to take the KO here. And they'll only do 280. I only have 280, so I'll be able to accelerate an energy, go to 300, and then just... Well, I don't even need to accelerate an energy, actually. I can just scroll and hit them. But we'll see what ends up happening. They're going to go double Marnie back with the Pal Pad. They're going to quick ball away for Crobat or Sobble. It's got to be one, right? And the Crobat makes more sense because otherwise you just leave it on top decks. They are going for the Sobble. So they're going to be living off top decks. They're going to hit me for 120. And I'm going to take this knockout, right? This is going to do 240. They have 100. I can start setting up here. Now this will do 160, 180, 200, 220. I could actually just scroll. I don't even need to Blasting Wind. So I'm actually in a decent spot here. I could just Furious Anger. Take 3 prizes. They have no attacker set up, and they have no cards in hand. We got the Urn, beautiful prize. A Marnie, not going to use. And Houndoom, excellent prize. So, now we don't need the Urn right now because, well, we don't have any single strike energies in the discard pile. So if they do somehow top deck a Marnie of Research, a Drizzile, and a Shady Dealing Inteleon, a Level Ball, I mean, they have quite a few outs. But, I mean, it could very easily be a Leafeon VMAX in their hand. It could be, they're going to boss. Okay. So, we're going to go ahead. Let's, before we start attaching, I guess it doesn't matter if I attach an energy here. I'm just going to research. Dig for a Switch or an Air Balloon. Let me get the Air Balloon. So, yeah. We have the boss for next turn. Unless they draw something crazy, we're just going to boss up that Galarian Moltres and win. They do get the research, but because they get the research, they're not going to be able to attack, and they can't Marnie. So, really, it doesn't matter. Because I don't even think they have any dark energies in their discard pile. They don't. So, they have nothing to accelerate with Galarian Moltres. And then they would have to not only discard a dark energy, but have a second dark energy and a Switch or an Air Balloon or a Scoop Up Net. There's the one dark energy. They have to need a second into the discard pile and some way of getting that Moltres into the active. They have the Scoop Up Net. I don't think it's going to matter because we have this max win that's going to do 240. So they go for the scroll. Again, it doesn't really... I mean, they can't boss up something and boss stall. So I do just win. Yeah. Because this is going to do 120, 240, 260, 280. It's going to do 300. So, yeah, there we go. 300 damage. Max Wind Spirit. Taking names. Let's get into the final game of the video. So far, I've been pretty impressed with Tornadus. I think the last time I played it was a post-rotation deck, but I played it before rotation actually happened. And so, now that rotation has happened and we're revisiting Tornadus, let's see. We're going to take a mulligan here because we have no basic Pokemon. Curious to see what we're playing against. But I guess we'll find out in just a second here. Umbreon. I actually kind of like starting Umbreon because if we do end up playing something like Dragapult, we're already at an advantage. And if we're not playing Dragapult, well, Umbreon's not a bad choice. I'm going to quick ball away this powerful, colorful energy. I'm going to grab a Houndour. Still don't really know what we're playing. And yeah, that's going to do it for us for this turn. Next turn, as long as we don't get Marnied, we're in a pretty good situation, right? We have the Evolution Incense to accelerate an energy. Fog Crystal almost definitely means we are playing Dragapult. But unfortunately, you're not even going to see the Tornadus side of this deck, probably. I'm going to focus on the Umbreon, which is the beauty of playing dual types, that I get the opportunity to choose. Do I want to play Tornadus? Do I want to play Umbreon? And you can kind of do either one. So they go for a second Sobble. They're going to go with a Quick Ball, which means they're probably going to get a third Sobble. There it is. I would really hate to see a Marnie. Marnie would be pretty crushing. They're going to Headbutt Tantrum. Tool Jammer is fine. Oh, my. Always. When I have a good hand with Single Strike, you get Marnied into oblivion. But let's see what we end up pulling. Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. The most I can do here is this. Because they're only going to be doing 130 to me. Right? Max Shred only does 130, so that'll put me at 150. They don't have any Drizziles on the line, so I don't have to worry about the quick shooting. So I will be able to take a KO next turn. They can, if they try to boss stall something, I have the Air Balloon in hand. If they boss, they can't Marnie. They don't have another Dragapult, and even if they did, they would not have the energy to attack next turn anyway, because they just attached their Horror Psychic this turn. So I don't really care so much. I would rather see an Umbreon VMAX at this point. They're going to scoop up net so they can Drizzile again. An Umbreon VMAX would be pretty nice, because then I'll have enough health to survive a second attack. They're going to ping my other Houndoom, Houndour, and knock it out with Max Shred. So they will take one prize this turn. I will be taking 3. But the question is, will I be able to get something off this top deck? A Research would be really, really nice. I'll take a Marnie. We do get a Tornadus. I mean, we'll put it down because we need a second attacker. I mean, now they can just bite, though. They'll actually be able to bite and hit for enough damage to knock me out. We get a Tower. It's a pretty good prize. A Tornadus, not something we really want. And a Research. There we go. Research is useful. So now they can just bite and take a KO, which I do not like. But hopefully, this will get knocked out. We can earn, play the tower, get rid of the Tornadus, draw a couple cards, and then play a research, and maybe we can get another Umbreon in play this turn. That would be really nice. But knowing my opponent, they're probably going to Marnie me again, because that's what Dragapult does. They just spam Path and Marnie, so you don't really have any options. I'm going to go Raihan so they can go ahead and evolve into their Dragapult VMAX, which is not a bad idea. There's the energy. They can search for a Fog Crystal, Evolution Incense, or even just a Dragapult VMAX, whatever they need. They also have the Shred, and they didn't necessarily need to get that other energy this turn, but you know, it's there for them. Oh, God. That Marnie really killed us. We would be in such a better position if we did not get Marnied, but that's the story of this format, am I right? Not getting Marnied is like the thing to do. So we'll send up our Tornadus, because otherwise our Houndoom will just get knocked out. They can't knock out our Tornadus. They will be able to knock out our Houndoom next turn, so we're kind of in a tough position here. I don't think it's possible for me to win this at this point. Umbreon's pretty nice. Yeah, well, just attach. It's about as good as it gets, right? We wouldn't. Yeah, we're kind of stuck though. With quick shooting and max shred or max phantom, whatever it is, they'll be able to take out this Houndoom. I have another one in hand, so that's fine, I guess. But no, okay, well, I guess I don't anymore. That's 3 Marnies. That's all. They have one more, so somehow they always have it in their hand. It's kind of irritating. We do have another tower. We have the Capture Energy so that we will be able to attack, and we have the Evolution Incense so I can get the Umbreon VMAX, which is kind of nice. So we'll be able to attack and get a little bit more health to try to salvage something. As long as they don't win this turn, we do win the game ourselves, and since they Marnie, they can't boss. So this has 40 damage on it. This will do 130. That'll put me at 170. 190, 210. They would have to use both quick shootings. They have to get all 3 quick shootings in play right now. If they do, they can win. Because this will put me at 70. Yeah. If they don't get that 3rd quick shooting, we will win. If they do, then we lose. Oh, yeah, they could just do that. Yeah, they have the scoop up net. Wow. So stupid. God. Marnie spam, Path, scoop up net, Zigzagoon pings. My God. So there you have it. Overall, I really like the deck. I didn't really use Tornadus that much in these games, but you can see how it would be used on based on the play from the second game. Overall, I did enjoy the deck. The main thing about Tornadus for me is that the damage output for the 2 energy attack is very, very low. And then you have to have 4 energies to do any serious damage, which means fans and hammers are going to kill you. And we do have urns to kind of mitigate that, but if you accelerate 2 energies, you're already taking 40 damage. And if you get hammered and fanned, then you have to accelerate them again. Well, now you're taking another 40 damage, so you just took 80 damage. So really, your 320 VMAX is now going down to 80 damage. You're going down to 260 or 240, whatever it is. That's kind of the trade-off. Yeah, you lose the psychic weakness, and you have fighting resistance, but your damage output prospects are much lower. And with Tornadus, you are highly dependent on there being a stadium in play. Luckily, most decks are running some type of stadium. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I have to stop talking. You can hear it in my voice. It's getting all crazy. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much. If you could, hit the subscribe button and bell notification. Leave a like and a comment. Tell me what you think of Tornadus VMAX. Do you prefer it over Urshifu Umbreon, or do you think that Gengar is going to come in and totally take over the single strike meta? But like I said, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.